Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's here on Monday, August 26th, and this is my final week of Arbitrary August. So I am looking forward to working on 3 different pieces this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday will be the last 3 pieces for Arbitrary August. So I'm looking forward to seeing what I pick. Hopefully at least one of them will be a non-full coverage, because I've had quite a few full coverage this month. And there's still more on here, but it would be nice to have some drawn that are not full coverage. So here we go. Let's see what I'm going to work on today and tomorrow. It is full coverage, but this one is an interesting one. This is Anne of Green Gables by Heaven and Earth Designs, and I have cropped it significantly to just be Anne and Gilbert, and I'm stitching it on 40 count silk gauze 1/1 half stitches. So it is very tiny and very different, so that might still be fun. So I'll go get that and show you where it's at in just a second. So here is my chopped up version of Anne of Green Gables. I put the whole color key and a cropped version of the cover picture on one paper, so it's all kind of put together. It's 105 by 105 stitches, and I just have Anne and Gilbert. This is originally the Quick Stitch Anne of Green Gables by Amy Stewart, and it includes like a huge tree, a good amount of the house, and Anne and Gilbert are fairly small, and I thought, I don't want to stitch like miles and miles of green. I just want to stitch Anne and Gilbert. So I figured that's what I would do. And when I got some scrap silk gauze from my friend Shelly, Key X Stitch, here on Flosstube, I decided to try it on with this piece and cropped it down. And this is where I'm at now. I have backed this with some black right now just to show you, because otherwise you see a lot of the back trailing stitches because it's see-through, but it shows better here. So this is the start of Gilbert and the tree and some of the shading in between them and behind. So Anne is right here. So I'm not sure if I want to start in on Anne or fill in Gilbert more or do more of the background. I'm not exactly sure. I think it would be fun to fill in Gilbert more just to get things like a little bit more clear, because especially since I don't like seeing the trailing threads in the back, so it'd be nice to get it more solid in here. So I don't know, I think I started doing like the cross-country method where I pick from the top corner and then, you know, do it until the thread runs out kind of thing. But then I just had to get started on him, and he has a lot of pink in him, pink and purple, which is very interesting, but I think when it all gets put together, it will look more gray. So it is what it is. I think from a distance and when it's all done, it'll be fine. Because the picture, I guess, has a little bit of a pink hue to it. So this is where I'm at now. I will work on this for the next couple days, and I will talk to you then and see how far I get on it. Until then, happy stitching. Hi, so it's now Wednesday, August 28th. And this is how far I got on Anne of Green Gables yesterday, last 2 days. I started working on this dark red color and found out once I was working on this, I thought, well, maybe I'll work on some skin, but then I realized that that color was also in Anne's vest. So I went over here and worked on her vest, and then I got like all of this finished and my string ran out, and then I thought, well, I'll start another string just because I have to finish her vest. Then I ended up doing a whole bunch down here just to finish the string again. One string lasts a very long time, 1/1 on 40 count. So after I finished those 2 strings, then I pulled out this really light orange peachy color, which is one of the shades in the skin, and also Anne's hat. So it'll also be in her face and his arms. She might have some hands down here too. So that will continue on. It is really, really fun to work on this because one length will do so much and make such a difference. So I would love to get this out again later this year, so we'll see if there will be time for that. In the meantime, time for another pick for Arbitrary August because I still want to get 2 more picks done before the end of the month. I just got a comment this morning from Belinda, Aussie Stitcher, who recommended having 2 wheels next year, one with full coverage and one with regular non-full coverage pieces. And I really like that idea. So I think I'm going to write that down for next year to remember, because I really like what I've been doing of working on neglected whips. So next year I'll make 2 wheels of neglected whips, one of full coverage and one of non-full coverage, and alternate days. Like if it's a day to pull a new whip, I'll go to the wheel that I didn't do last time. So I'll go back and forth. And I think that'll help my stitchy bug stay happy. Meanwhile, I'll just keep rolling with this one and just do whichever 2 more I get done. And let's see what I'm going to work on today. Bird song. Okay, so this is another full coverage. It's also another 40 count, 1/1, but this one is on silk gauze, and this one is on Verdal or Verdal, which is an even weave, which is pretty fun to work on. So I will go see where that one's at now, and I'll be right back. So here is Mini Bird Song by Heaven and Earth Designs. The artwork is by Tatiana Fedorova, and this is a mini version. I've seen, I believe, Nina Hobby Site on Instagram. She is stitching the full version of this, and she has gotten quite a bit done. I think she's on the 2nd row at least. And then Lisa Stitching and Such, I believe, is also working on this, and she had started in this corner, so she's got a bunch of this done, and I can't remember how far in she is, but she's got a lot farther than me as well, and hers looks amazing. I believe she might be working on hers 40 count, but she's doing 1/2. I'm doing 1/1, and both of those I believe were the full version. Mine is the mini, and it still has a good amount of good amount of detail. I have another page here that I blew up the picture a little bit because I wanted to see it more clearly. It still had quite a bit of detail, so I'm pretty happy with this version. Here is where I'm at now, and I have the first page is completely finished. So that's where I had left it last time, was finish the first page. This Morning Glory was completely done, and I think it looks amazing. And then there's some start of leaves. The first bird is right here on page 2, so that's really fun. I have a lot of threads parked. This chunk up here is just sky, so that would be really cool to get a big chunk of that done. That should go pretty quickly. So we'll see how far I get with just 2 days. I will hopefully come back. Let's see, this is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'll come back on Friday and draw my last piece for Arbitrary August. Until then, happy stitching. Hi, so now it's Friday, August 30th, and this is how far I got in the last couple days. Pretty happy with that. I got most of this sky done. There's just a tiny bit more of this color right before all this leaves and flowers get started. I really enjoy this petite point, 40 count 1/1 half stitches. That's what this is on, and Anne of Green Gables. I really like those ones. It's especially on this fabric. It's not that hard to count for me anyways. I know in the future when my eyes give out it probably will be, but for now it's not that hard to count in the confetti bits, and I really enjoy that. So I again want to get this back out again at some point soon. Sometimes I get like at the page break of something, I'll stop because it feels like it's completed and it's hard to get started again. So this drawing this for Arbitrary August was probably nice to kind of give me the kick I needed to get started on a new page. So that's good. And the bird starting right about here will be fun to get to as well. So I didn't work on my temperature pieces the last couple days because we had busy evenings and a handkerchief to stitch for Etsy, and I got a cold. So I just said no to the temperature pieces so that I could work on this in the time that I had. But it does go really fast because pretty much there's like 10 stitches of this color up here,
but everything else was the same color. So it was just like back and forth, highlight, back and forth, highlight, all the way down. So, oh, and then I did this light color as well in here, which you can't even see because it's practically the same color as the fabric. But I did stitch that as well, which was fun to count around and do a little bit of that and get that part. So that's where that is, and I wish I could keep going, but I do want to get one more piece done for Arbitrary August. So let's do that. Last piece, and here we go. Let's see what I'm going to work on the next 2 days. Okay, actually not full coverage. 2 pieces in all of Arbitrary August that are not full coverage. So this is To Everything a Season sampler. This is an old kit I have that I pulled out last year for the first time in a really long time. And so I don't remember where I was at, but let's go get that and take a look at it. So here is my To Everything a Season sampler. This is a kit by Needles and Hoops and by Beulah, if you want to try to find it. I think you can maybe find them here and there. It's a pretty old kit. Looks like copyright 1997. So it's really pretty though. Lots of pretty colors. I'm doing it with all the kit threads and floss fabric. This is where I'm at. It came with 28 count even weave. Yeah. That I'm stitching over 2 with 2 strands of floss. So last year I believe I got it out and worked up here and did this motif because I had all this middle stuff done for a while, but then I figured I want to finish the top and work top down. There's fun, this is like satin stitching in here, and there's some satin stitches in the heart which could be fun to do on this rotation. This is not done yet though, so I'm not sure if I want to finish this motif or work on the heart, but I'm kind of thinking I want to work on the heart because this looks like it has a lot of confetti in it. And this looks like a lot of fun. So, we shall see, but I think I'm kind of leaning towards doing the heart because it would not be hard to count to, because I've already got the birds done. Oh, it looks like there's some more. When did I finish the birds too? There's a little bit more yellow to do on the birds. They're not all the way done either. So, maybe I could finish the birds and then do the heart or something. That could be fun. So that's where I'm at now, and let's see how far I get in the last 2 days of August. Talk to you again. Oh yeah, I didn't realize when I talked last time that Monday is Labor Day, so I will not be able to get this all put together in person on Monday. But I was thinking maybe of coming back on Tuesday. My kids will be back in school, and showing you all the things I did not pull for Arbitrary August, because they're all the whips that I have not yet worked on this year. And that could be fun to see all of those. So, and as I pull them out, maybe I'll see if there's any of them that I really, really want to get to before the year's out and put them on my goal list. So I will probably come back. I may come back on Sunday with another behind the camera vlog to show you where I got on this and to preview my my next couple pieces in September. I'll be doing my family pieces again. But then I'll come back in front of the camera on Tuesday and kind of wrap everything up. So that's the plan. And until then, until probably Sunday, happy stitching. Hi, so now it is Sunday, September 1st, which means Arbitrary August is over for 2019. This is how far I got on To Everything There Is a Season sampler. I went ahead and did this heart, which had a bunch of straight stitches in here, and all the little vines that are associated with it, as well as this little motif, I guess. And then I even had time to work on this a little bit more. This is not done yet, but I got some progress, which is more than I thought I would get. So I'm really happy with that. And I did a little bit, I did a lot on Friday, and so it gave me a good excuse to get my diamond painting out on Saturday. So I'm hoping to maybe get another. I finished the column I had been working on previous to that, and so I'm hoping to maybe get another column done today and tomorrow because I really was enjoying that. So it's looking really nice. So I'll show you that when I come back on Tuesday in front of the camera. But this is how far I got now. But I can thank my cold for giving me stitching time because there wasn't a whole lot else I could do. It was short and intense. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I had, typical cold symptoms, but also a low fever on some days, a really bad sinus headache on other days. So it was just, I just wanted to sit and do not a whole lot. So it allowed me to stitch. So this was really fun. This is 28 count, 2 over 2. So things go pretty quickly. They fill up the space pretty quickly. Some of these motifs do have a lot of color changes, which can be tedious, but overall, I think I decided I want to make this a focus on a finish for 2020. I have too many goals for this year to finish, so I don't see that happening this year, but I think it would be a really nice goal to try to get this finished up next year, because I've had this for a long time, and it's gorgeous. I could see this going on my wall in my home somewhere, so I think that'll be 2020's main goal, is to get this finished. Speaking of old things, this is one of my older whips, and there's a Full Coverage Fanatics weekend challenge coming up in September. I forget which dates exactly. I'll have to look that up. To work on your oldest whip for the weekend, or oldest full coverage whip over the weekend, and post your progress. Like, there's no required stitches or time or anything, just work on it. And I signed up to do it because I thought that could be fun, but I honestly don't know my oldest full coverage whip. I'll have to go back. I know my oldest golden kite, and I think I know my oldest Hade, but I don't know if I have a different one that's older. So I'll have to look at all of them and see which one might be the oldest. So that'll be kind of interesting. So anyways, Arbitrary August is over. I really actually enjoyed it. I wasn't really looking forward to it going into it because I was kind of focused on other things, but I really liked having a push to work on the things that I would not have normally picked up. So that was really nice because I love all my pieces. I just get fixated on goals and finishing certain things or working on certain things, which is fine. But other things, it's fun to pull something out and remember why I started it in the first place and why I love it. So I will most likely, my plan now is to go forward into August, take notes into August, and do Arbitrary August again next year with neglected whips, just like I did this year. Anything I haven't yet worked on the beginning of 2020. And alternate full coverage and regular throughout the month. So that's kind of my plan for next year, if anybody wants to join me then. And let's see. So going forward into September now, I'm going to go back, at least right now, to my family pieces for the next couple days. And I'm not sure what I want to focus on beyond that. So at least I have these first 2 days that are kind of given to me, that I already have planned to work on these, my husband's piece and my son's piece. And so I'll be thinking these next couple days on what I want to work on in September. I had already written down on my calendar that I want to work on Cherry Kitten again at some point because I'd worked on that before and didn't get a lot of time and really wanted to work on it some more. But my birthday's coming up, so I don't know if I want to pick something like my chatelaine that I really want to focus on. So I don't know. We will have to play around. I'll have to look at all my whips, and maybe when I come back on Tuesday, gathering all the things I didn't work on yet in Arbitrary August, that might even spark some interest of what I want to work on in September. So we shall see. No plans yet. So today, if I get a chance, I'll work on my temperature balloons, and I'm also going to work on Simpsons. So this is where I'm at with that right now. This is also on 40 count Vertical even weave, which is what I'm working Bird Song on, which you saw a few days ago in my vlog. And so I think I might want to just work more on her hair, just to fill that in a little bit more. I might do what I like, fill in one more color around the outside of her hair in the outline, and then a string or two in here So we'll see if I can get any of that done without my husband knowing, because it's currently still a secret. And then my son's piece will be tomorrow, Touchdown. You can still find these booklets on Etsy, which is where I found mine. And mine is a Broncos and Denver Broncos and Oakland Raiders conversion. This is 28 count 2/2 on MCG Textiles, light blue even weave, which is the same fabric I'm using my temperature pieces on. So I'm still working on Charles Woodson's jersey. He's not backstitched at all, so I would like to maybe finish up some stitching in his jersey, get him closer to a finish. Because so far, the top part of John Elway here is all finished and backstitched, because the way the chart cut off like right here, and I wanted to just get it done because it didn't actually line up accurately with the bottom half of the chart, and so I wanted to just be done with it and not have to refer to the top anymore. So, but now I'm down here with him. So we'll see how far I can get tomorrow. My family's home and we have plans to do stuff together, so we'll see what time I have with that. Tuesday, I don't know what I'll be working on, but I probably won't have time to work on anything before I come make a video, so you'll find out on Tuesday what I'll be working on then. So until then, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. If you're in the States, enjoy your Labor Day weekend, and I will talk to you later. Happy stitching. Hi, it's now September 3rd, Tuesday, and we had a nice long weekend. I'm still kind of getting over my cold, so I might have to take breaks and drink some water, blow my nose, you know, the thing. But hopefully we can get through this. I have a lot of goodies here to show you today. And so let's get started. First thing, I'll show you what I just worked on, since you would have just seen that I worked on Simpsons for my husband on the 1st. And so I got one more string in there, which was several rows of blue in Marge's hair, and then I picked a lighter color of gray and did that like all the way around here and kind of went over here, and then there's still like a whole bunch on my needle. So I'll probably finish or work that color more throughout the rest of this the next time I bring it out, and may even need to park it or cut it if I don't feel like counting into the next row. But that's where I am there. Every little bit counts. That was 40 count 1/1 on Vertical even weave. And yesterday I worked on Touchdown for my son and got all the white in his jersey finished, which I'm really excited about. These last few stitches I believe are actually in the stripe on his pants right here, but that was all my all that was on my needle, and I'm like, I can't just not do those. So, because there was a few more stitches of white in his pants, but I'm trying to get this. Yeah, it's a little bluer than it's showing as usual. But yeah, I'm really happy with finally getting his jersey like pretty much, you know, done. There's still two small shades of other light grays, but the white was significant, so I'm glad that's done. So there's that. And it's very hot today, but I don't want to turn on a fan, because then you would be distracted. It would be very loud, I think. Maybe I'll turn the AC up. Just a minute. Okay, I'm back. I do not envy those of you in countries without AC who've had heat waves. That sounds very miserable, so sorry about that. It's been a little bit humid the last couple days, so like overnight. Last night was pretty miserable because it stayed hot. Usually around here it's very dry heat, so at night we can open the windows and get a nice cool breeze, and it cools down pretty significantly. So that was not the case last night. But anyways, such is life. The next things I'll show you are my weekly pieces. So I worked on, I guess I usually show you my quilt first. There's my temperature quilt, the mock-up, and I'm not caught up on this, but I made progress, so that's always good. This is what that looked like when I showed you last week, and here it is now.
So I've filled in the lows for many of these colors, not these ones right here. And this color, like, I kept going past where I had the highs. And I'm working on the sashing. I'm working on the sashing all the way down because I can actually start September already. So there is where temperature quilt is now. So it's moving along. It's progressing. It would be lovely to get this cut up again sooner than later because my balloons is caught up, and it's really nice to be able to work the 2 blocks I'm supposed to work on that day. Oops. And then be able to spend time on the other things. So I'm looking forward to being able to do that with the quilt in not too long from now. We'll see how that goes. My balloons, the mock-up looks like this. And this one is caught up as of whenever I worked on it last. So this is what that looked like before. And here it is now. This balloon that had June, July, and August is finished. So that's really fun. It still needs this basket, but the actual balloon part is finished. And I finished this cloud. So yay! So now, I think this is today's temperature piece, so I can work on starting the new balloon, and if I have extra time, can go down and start working on the basket and cloud that's over there. So that'll be really fun. So that's where that's at now. And I think it turned out really nice. So those are my temperature pieces. And then my travel piece, I didn't have any grab and go stitching this week, so I just worked on furry animals. Try to stay somewhat organized, since I have a million things here to show you. So here's Furry Animals by Heaven and Earth Designs. This was a freebie on their website, and it's no longer available, so that's pretty sad. But it is less than 2 pages. It's very small. This is what that looked like last week, and here it is now. I think the first, maybe even 4 columns now are finished. And when I'm going down each row, each column, picking a color, and then finishing it through the whole rest of the piece. So, you know, sections over here are filling in as well, which is really fun to see. It's coming along. This will hopefully be a finish this year. That's my goal. And I think it can happen. And Cinnamon is going to come join us. Those of you who have missed her. And last for my regular stitching is my daughter's piece. She worked on hers a little bit more this week. The Home is Where the Cat Is, which is one of my designs on my website. And this is what that looked like last week. Hey, kitty. Cinnamon likes this one, I think. And here it is now. She was able to finish all of the words, and then she got started again on the, let's try to center this, got started on the kitty. And I was right, as soon as she put her mind to it and wasn't distracted by her brother, she was able to figure out the back and forth stitching pretty easily. So I thought that was pretty good. She was working on this, she likes to work on this during those shows that we watch as a family, like BattleBots or Ninja Warrior, because that's when I'm stitching on usually my temperature pieces. So she'll pull this out and work on it, and then I'll help her if she needs her string fixed or go to the next item or something. So that's pretty fun. She's enjoying that. And then now, before I show you all the pieces that I did not get to in Arbitrary August, I will share with you a few other extra things. One is my Color and Cotton Threads of the Month. This is the All Colors pack. And I thought these were really pretty this time, because they appealed to my blue and pink sensibilities a little bit more than the last pack did. Which the last pack did have pretty colors. I enjoyed the colors, but individually they weren't necessarily like my favorite combo. Please don't knock these over, kitty. They weren't my favorite combo of colors, but individually those threads were very nice. So these ones are pretty too. Silver Lining is this one, a nice variegated gray. It's got a little bit of tan in it too. The variegation's not really coming up for you, but it's there. Cherries Jubilee, which is a little bit more dusty than that looks. Mermaid's Folly, which is a nice teal. It's more green than it's looking in the camera. And Marlin, which is a nice light blue. It's close to accurate. And Tusk, which is actually a really pretty white, a creamy white, which is nice to have hand-dyed whites if you're doing projects like that. So I thought these were very nice all together. So yay, still happy with that. Every month it's a little present, a little treat. And I signed up for, back in February I think, I signed up for a whole year of the monthly club, which allowed it to be a little bit discounted, and so I don't have to pay for it again until next February. So, and then I got my first birthday card was this cute Jenny Bean picture from Frosty, from Dawn Frosty X Stitch in Switzerland, and very sweet note on the back, and it's a very lovely card. So I love that old-fashioned stitcher. So thank you, Dawn. My first birthday wishes, and I got, speaking of birthday wishes, I got my first presents yesterday from my mother-in-law, which included this pretty puzzle called the Sewing Room. Lots of glare. You can see yourselves in there. So it's got like 2 dresses and fabrics and a little kitty by the sewing machine, a teacup, even some yarn, a little bird, quilted pillows. So I thought that was really pretty. I like my puzzles. I also wanted to share my diamond painting because I got that out this weekend. It's been a little while since I worked on it, so I kind of felt like it was time. This time I'm working on Heaven and Earth Designs piece. I bought blank canvas and resins from Stitches to Stones and have converted this to diamond painting. So, because on a Heaven and Earth Design pattern, they will show you, I don't think I have the papers in here anymore, but they show you on one of the papers that you receive in your PDF file, they show exactly how many stitches each color takes. Then you can translate that over to know how many diamonds to buy. So this is what that looked like the last time I showed it. I'm not sure when it is, so hopefully I can find a picture. And here it is now. I am really happy with how this is turning out. I had a partial column right here, and so I finished that column and thought, I got time to do one more. So I did one more column before the weekend was over, and I'm really happy with that. The blank canvas I bought already had this cut in half, so I decided, well, I'll just roll it back and do the diamond painting until this page break all the way across, and then I'll start unrolling this and do the bottom part. So that's just how it worked out with the canvas that I got. It's not an actual page. It's a couple rows shy of a real page, but it worked out nicely to do it that way. And then my son wanted me to show you his piece too, because he was working on it this weekend as well. And so this is what his looked like the last time I showed it with you. And let me lift this up. And here it is now. His is a dragon. You can kind of see his is a see-through cover, but he got a lot of the dragon body is pretty much finished now. And the background right here, he was excited to fill that in, and now he's moving in more with the fire. He's got to fill this in all too, but he's really excited about this, so he wanted me to share that with you too. He's having fun, and working on it together gave him the desire to work on it again, because he'd kind of taken a break over the summer of wanting to get it out. But now he's getting it out all by himself, even when I'm not around. So, which is what he used to be doing last school year. So it's fun to see him enjoying that again. So I thought I would transition all my monthly pieces on camera for you, because you didn't get to see this. This is the Snowflower Diaries Joyful World Sal. This is the August one. They're free on her blog, so I'll link that below. Most of them do not have specialty stitches, but this one had Lazy Daisies. And I just love the colors in this one. They're so cool and refreshing. So you never got to see August because all of my vlogs were from behind the camera and not in my normal spot. So today is September 3rd, so we need to switch it. I keep all of my Joyful Worlds in a storage size baggie. This is a frame I got maybe Hobby Lobby. Yeah. So I just undo it. Take this one out. Put this one back in, just like a picture. And that's as easy as it is. And I don't have glass in here, so if I want to like adjust it just a little bit, I can. So there's September, and we're all set. And here's August from the Little House Needleworks. That one looks a little bit crooked in the frame, but it's fine. And this was a frame 5x5, I believe, that I got at Michael's. That also came with its mat. I really like it if they have a mat, because then I can do this picture thing. So I just take this one out and put it in September, just like a picture. Pretty good. And there's September. All ready to go. And I keep this one in the other room to enjoy. And then this one, these are all my the Little House Needleworks ones. So I'll stick August in the back, because that one will come around in another month, in another year. And here's the August one from this, and I'll put this one in the back. I like him going the right direction. And those I just keep in my closet like that, and they're all set. And there's one more big one that I'm changing out on September 1st, and I'm doing it today because I thought it'd be fun to do it for you. But this pretty lady, Spring Queen by Mirabilia, is going to go away now. She she stays up in above my desk in the study from March 1st to September 1st. So she's my spring and summer queen right now, because I don't have summer queen finished. It's not even started, actually. That's a goal for 2020, is to start summer queen. But she's going to go away now. I've enjoyed her for 6 months on the wall. She'll get wrapped up, put in storage. And now I'm going to pull out Autumn Queen and hang her up. And she's going to stay up until December 1st, or thereabouts, whenever I start decorating for Christmas, because I do have Royal Holiday also finished. So Royal Holiday will go up in lieu of Winter Queen, which I don't have finished either. So I just have these, I have 3 finished right now. So she's going to be up there, and then Spring Queen will come back out on March 1st, and those are my fun ladies, so I'm making the switch for them today too. Arbitrary August, it's too bright for you, had several things left over. There are whips that I have not yet worked on this year, so I'm going to share those with you so you can see the rest of my projects. Starting alphabetically, just because that's how I do things. So the first project is Antique Shoe Collection by Beulah. I've had this since high school. Also, this is also one of my oldest whips. And this is a kit, doing it with all the kit things.
This is how far I am on that one. And I think I have gotten this out not that long ago, so maybe probably last year at some point, and worked up here somewhere. So there's that one. I used to love fancy shoes, and especially Victorian shoes with the tall boots. So I thought this was great, but it's not really my aesthetic anymore. It's still fun with the colors and everything, but I just never really want to work on it compared to a lot of the other things that I have going right now. But eventually maybe I'll work on it, or maybe my daughter will take it over someday, so we'll see. The next one is Blackwork Flower and Butterflies. This is by Leslie Tier. I got it on her website just as a PDF. I started this last year for Carrie and Stitch's birthday style. And I have this one kitted up with, I think they're all Victorian Motto sampler shop threads and some Petite Treasure braid. My first time working with Petite Treasure braid that Mon Stitches sent me, because she heard that and she's like, well, you know what? You need some. I'm like, okay, thank you. Which was really nice because I was going to kit up my chatelaine with Petite Treasure braid, but my local needlework shop is actually a needlepoint store, and so they didn't have very many colors of Petite Treasure braid. They had regular size treasure braid, which is not what we would use on regular, for regular cross stitch. They would use that for needlepoint. So I ended up using Accentuate on my chatelaine instead, because that's something that they recommended in the shop, which is like the weight of blending filament. So I'm using that, and it's nice, but I still had never tried Petite Treasure braid, so now I can try it. And I never showed you what that looked like. Here we go. So that's the pattern. This is how far I got last year during her birthday sal. I got this one section all the way finished, and then outlined the cross-stitching portions of all this stuff, so that's fun. Very pretty colors. And I do want to get this out again this year, I'm pretty sure, because this is really pretty. I was going to get it out in a recent month. I don't remember which one now. And then, like, a vacation ended up not allowing me to pull it out. So this one is going to get some time. I have that as one of my goals for the rest of 2019. I wrote in my little planner some of my goals. Do I have it written down? I do not. I'll have to add that. Specific things that I want to make sure I work on or finish all or part of. Work on Blackwork Flower. Because I want to make sure I don't forget some of these things. I have so many projects. So that's definitely coming out again. The next one alphabetically is Chaplains Garden. This is an old Janlan kit, also from high school, I'm pretty sure. And it's not really me. It's colorful and kind of sort of me, and I think my mom got this for me because it had a million colors, and I am usually the more colors the better kind of person. But I've never really been able to get into this. And recently, I think I pulled it out last year for Arbitrary August, and I decided to come up to the top and start highlighting my chart, which I had not done previously, and I think that's going to help. But I still don't really have a desire to pull this out again this year. So this is where this is at the moment. I had worked on the house a lot back in the day, as well as pulled this color down, and during Arbitrary August, I believe, I came up here and worked on the top. These lighter shades of the sky, because I want to get it finished from the top down. And who knows, maybe at some point I'll start parking on it even, and see if that helps get some finished chunks, you know, faster, and would help the motivation for that one. My next one alphabetically is Daisy Girl. Also possibly from high school or college when I started this. This is a Leisure Arts leaflet, and I loved how pretty and quaint this is with the little flowers. But for some reason this was also languishing, and I think this was the one that came out during Arbitrary August last year also. Is it this one? No. That's Nantucket Rose. This one. They're on the same fabric. And I think it was because it's using 3 strands over 2 instead of 2. Possibly. I think that was what I discovered. Yeah, it's using 3 strands of cross stitch, and supposedly on 28 count, only I'm using 32 counts, and I think I was still using 3 strands, so it's pretty bulky, but I think I decided I would just go for it. And I think last time during Arbitrary August I worked on her face, which makes it a little bit more personable. I think for like 15-20 years all I had was her like bodice and arm. So now I've got her face. The next time I pull her out, I could work on her little hair and cap, the thing that she's wearing. So, so that's her. I don't have any plans to pull her out this year, but maybe we'll see her in Arbitrary August next year. The next one I have still is Empress Eugenie by Golden Kite. This is one I had started on 28 count Lugana, and the Lugana seemed very loose, and I didn't like how my stitches were laying, and I decided to stop and give up on that, but I restarted it on some of the same ice, like dove gray Monaco that I did the Little House Needleworks pieces on. And so this is an enormous piece. I believe I bought some 40 count Vertil to work on this because this is my largest design by stitch count. And I thought, well, if I work on it at 40 count, it'll be nice and small. And then I realized after I bought and received the 40 count, it's got blends. And I can't do blends on 40 count because I can only use 1 strand. So I went back to found this Monaco that I had a whole bunch of and got a little tiny start. Very little tiny start. This is one I'm tempted to pull out just so I can get a better start on it, to maybe work a column or something to actually have something going. And this one I'm also cropping. This is the original cover page, and it has a whole bunch of trees and background, and I'm cropping off the top 2 rows and the last column over here, which is basically just black. So mine's slightly smaller, but it's still enormous. So that's that one. And so that one, I do want to maybe get 1 column finished in 2019 of that one, if I have time. Okay. Don't need this one anymore. The next one is Enchanted Alphabet by Lavender and Lace. And I really love this one. It's really pretty. I might need to work on this a little bit this year too. This one I'm working on really tiny fabric. I think it's like 46 count, but it feels more like 50 because of having been dyed. And so the little squares, it's 1/2, but the little squares are like 25 count. And so this is how far I am on that. This is a Lakeside Linens something. It's a light pale green, and it was like a discontinued offcut. And it was the perfect size for this. So I love how they have charted the change of colors. It makes it look really pretty. So I think I might pull this out and do 1 more letter just to have a little bit more done on that one, because it is really fun to work on. I like my tiny stitches. That's just... I will do those tiny stitches until my eyes say no. And then I have The End of the Ball by Golden Kite. I love her dress with the flowers and her little shoe peeking out. But currently I'm up here in the boring curtain So, this one may come out if I have time, because I don't think I have finished the column. Yeah, there's still more. So this is how far I am. This is on the 24 count Congress cloth, just like, what is that other one I worked on at this time? Oh, La Soiree. This one is also on that Congress cloth. There we go. Get the colors there. They're really pretty rich browns, but they're not as exciting as the dress, so, but it would be nice to make some more progress on this one, and before I, I hate to make goals for, you know, especially next year, like a page on each of these pieces or something, but it might be nice to have at least a column on each piece in every year, because then they at least are progressing a little bit. And if I have a particular piece that I'm really excited about and I get more on, then that's bonus. But I think I want to make sure to touch all of my full coverage pieces every year, just to slowly progress through them and get to their main happy, you know, subjects. So my next item is Grapes. This is a small version, also by Golden Kite. And this used to be my travel piece, and I've taken this to famous flag football practices and whatnot, and ballet lessons. I had one full normal size floss box full of all the colors and took it with me. But I haven't worked on this in a while because I have a lot of other things I'm focusing on. But I do have the top page, the top row of pages is finished, and I love how this looks. This is on 18 count, 2/1 full crosses. And I started to park on this one and parked horizontally and realized that that was not how my brain worked. And so then I started parking vertically in this second row. So I had been horizontally up until here, and I just gave up. I said, no more horizontal. My brain doesn't work like that. My brain likes columns. So I started working down in columns. And I just love how real everything looks and how it's coming out. There's this white grape and the different grapes. There's the stem of the grapes. This stem and the vine and the leaf, even the plaster on the wall looks cool. And the wood paneling around the window and the pretty bright blue sky and even the gray clouds. Nothing is bad about this. So this is on 18 count Fiddler's cloth, I believe. So I really should work on this some more. I don't know if I have time for it this year, but maybe even just to finish this column. It'd be nice to get another one, but yeah, I have a lot of other things I want to do this year. So that'll need to be a priority at some point because it's gorgeous. And I like 18 count for full coverage if the design isn't massive, because it's a nice coverage, and it's yeah, I just really like it. Alright, the next one is Heirloom Nativity Sampler. I probably worked on this one last year around Christmas time. I'm not sure though. This is by the Victoria Sampler. It's the only Victoria Sampler I've started so far. But I have another one, the Heirloom Stitching Sampler, that I might need to start next year, so we'll see. We'll see if I allow myself to start that one before I finish this one. But again, I have this kitted up with all the goodies, various beads and things that I found on Stony Creek. So if you're doing one of these and they call for some weird beads, they're not Mill Hill, they're like stars and different size itty-bitty beads, big beads, charms, you know, all of that I found on Stony Creek's website. So even this heart charm. So if that's a tip for you if you're looking for kitting up non-Mill Hill beaded items. Here's this one. This is how far I got on this one. I have the angels done with all their metallic and their charm and their they have a tiny back stitching on their faces and stuff. And I have this first band of specialty stitches. There's some pearl beads in there. And this is a variegated Gloriana. I invested in the Glorianas. And this band is finished, and so now I'm working on the first little scene here. I've got the trees finished, I think. So that's, I believe, shepherds. Yes, so this will be shepherds. So this year, possibly closer to Christmas time, I think I would like to get the shepherds scene finished. That'll be a goal for this piece in 2019, because I love this piece. It's so pretty. And if I can get more than that done, you know, that's a bonus, but I think I'd like to at least get that scene done. Very fun. I love specialty stitches and specialty floss and all of that, so it's been fun to try out some of these different designers. Let's see, I guess this one's, nope, this one's still first. Nantucket Rose. I went through all of my Mirabilias during May, but I didn't get to this one because this is technically lavender and lace. Same with Enchanted Alphabet, so I don't think I've worked on this in 2019. This is my Anne of Green Gables, or Anne of Avonlea conversion, because she reminds me of what Anne looks like at the beginning of the second movie of the miniseries from the 80s, when she's on the beach writing her novel. And this is how far I am on that. So she's got her hair and her sleeve and rose are finished, and then I was working a little bit on the scene. Changing the house to be green, although I don't know, maybe I should have reversed it and have the house white and then the around the windows be green. I'll have to look. Stitching May was talking about her, I think it was her, she's doing an Anne of Green Gables sampler by Soda Stitch and was talking about the color of the house, and so I might need to go back and watch that and reevaluate how I'm converting this house, because I want to make sure it's somewhat accurate as much as this pattern will allow. I'm not going to rechart the pattern or anything to make it look like Green Gables, but I thought at least the colors could match. But I might have done it wrong. Might have done it the backwards way. So now is this one. This shared a binder with End of the Ball, so I was kind of waiting for it to come up alphabetically. This is Princess de Broglie. This is my first golden kite, which was being discontinued on my birthday, so I took that as a sign that I needed to buy it. I've always loved this painting in music and art in college. We saw this one, and I just love the rich blue of her dress. And so when I saw this, I decided I needed it. So this was back in 18 count days, so even though this is a fairly large piece, it's on 18 count. But I have started to park diagonally in the corner, and she is started in the middle. So her face is pretty much done, and I've started on her background a little bit up here. Lots of blues and greens, or teals and dark greens, and then here is her. Her face is mostly finished. There's a few little, you know, things in the edge that aren't done. And I've started on her hair bows sometimes, because I love those colors. But she looks really real. Like, for a while she looked pretty creepy, because it was very orange and yellow with green hair. But once I filled in all the accent colors, it actually, she looks really nice. And they have re-released this pattern on their website, so it is available again, should anybody else want to stitch it as well. And I feel bad sometimes showing golden kites, because they have raised their prices and changed their formula for pricing since I bought most of mine. So they do have sales regularly, and if you buy 3 or more, you get a shopping cart discount of like 30% or something. So you can get things cheaper than they show regular price. I've never paid full price for golden kite. But I believe when I was buying mine,
their formula was different, and a lot of them were even less than they are now. So I'm kind of sad that I show them and then they're really expensive for the rest of you, but it is what it is. These are pretty patterns that I'm working on. So another one is Ink Circles Tapestry, which I started, I think, last year, along with Rita Marie, and we decided to do a Victorian motto conversion. So a lot of these colors are from the Eliza Bell Cox pack, and then a few of them are from monthly clubs that we thought fit this design just a little bit better. So there's that one. Still recording. It's good. It's kind of a long one. So here I am. I started in the middle. This is on 28 count, like antique white or something. It's kind of dark. But yeah, that's a little better. So I thought that's turning out pretty nicely. This would be fun to work on again, to maybe get this edge finished out a little bit more. I forget what I was gonna do. Well, that was ironic. As soon as I started to figure out or think about the fact that maybe I was running out of storage space, I ran out of storage space. So now I'm back. The video's taken off my phone, so now I can do the last little bit here. So this piece, I don't remember, I might have been trying to do like this upper quadrant last time. Because I know I did all the way around the center medallion, but I'm curious if I was maybe going to go up to like work up and then down, just because of the way I hold my fabric in hand, that maybe that would be better than trying to do all the circles. So potentially I could move this way if I pull this out again this year, which is a distinct possibility. This is also one, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that could end up being a travel piece when I finish some of my other things that are in the travel, in the car right now, because I have all the flosses kitted up already to make sure that I don't run out of them by accidentally using them as something else. And this is pretty small, so I could like maybe fit it in here when it's rolled up. So potentially, yeah, that would fit. So I could make this a travel piece at some point as well. So if I don't get to it in 2020 or in 2019, it very well could come out in 2020 as a travel piece. But I do have a Mill Hill kit, my first Mill Hill kit, that will probably end up being a travel piece as well, because why not? They're nice and small. So my last piece, alphabetically, that I did not get to in 2019 is the Young Gardener. This is by Art of Stitching, and I won this in a giveaway. They have like a monthly drawing, and you can tell my printer was not so great when I printed this. It has some streaks in it, but super cute, especially since I got this right after my daughter was born, because it's just, I had to. I'm a mama of a little girl now. This is so adorable, and I love her outfit. Like, that's like, I love historical dresses and everything. So anyways, this has a lot of like warmer colors in it than I generally am drawn to. It's not as cool of a garden scene as usually I like more of greens and stuff, but oh, here it is. It had fell down. But I had started this on 32 count 1/1, and it was very light coverage, which I had stitched a piece, the whole piece finished, start to finish, on 32 count 1/1 half stitches, and it was light coverage, but I really wanted to stick with the half stitches, and 2 strands was too thick for me. So I had started this 1/1 on 32 count, and as well as the Simpsons piece that I'm working on for my husband, and didn't really like either one. And when I switched the Simpsons piece over, I thought, you know what? I really like the 40 count 1/1, and this doesn't have any blends in it, so I'm going to try this on 40 count 1/1. So I believe that's what I did. So this is also on 40 count Vertical even weave, and there's the beginning of my restart. And I like this so much better than what it had done on the 32 count. So this one, again, could be nice if I have time to come back and do a column to, the pattern's not that large, but so far it looks like I was not parking. I think I was maybe going down each column, so we'll see. I don't know if I'll have time for this one, but it would be nice to get a little bit more done on that too. So I think I'll go back through these, and there was like maybe up to 5 that I had talked about maybe wanting to do a little bit more on. And make sure those are on my list of goals for 2019, so if I'm ever wondering what should I work on, I can look at that list and remember, oh yeah, I wanted to finish the column on this, or oh yeah, I wanted to do this, you know. So that's kind of my plan with that. And I just realized I didn't bring anything to show you what I'm going to be working on coming up. I am not 100% sure what I want to work on coming up starting today. Originally I was thinking maybe I would work on Cherry Kitten, because I had wanted to work on that back a few months ago. I don't even know now. July maybe. And didn't get as much time on it as I wanted because of vacations. And so, similar to the Blackwork Flower. So I had that in my little planner to work on that so I wouldn't forget. But recently I had been working on Anne of Green Gables and really wanted to give that some more time. And since it's near my birthday and Anne of Green Gables is one of my favorite movies, I thought, well, maybe I should, since that's a more recent like interest, maybe I should work on that some more right now while I'm interested in it. So let me show you where that's at right now. Because it seems likely that I will work on this for the next few days. So this is my Anne of Green Gables piece, which I think it was last week that I was working on this. Not this recent vlog, but the one before that. I could be wrong though. And so you would have recently seen this also. It always looks better with something darker behind it. This is on 40 count silk gauze, 1/1 half stitches. So that's where it's at now. And I would like to get several more colors in on this because I think it's super cool. And so I think what I will do is I'll work on that for the next few days until Friday. And I'm just flying by the seat of my pants here. I'm thinking maybe I'll work on my Blackwork Flower the next few days for around my birthday. Where is that? This one. So that might be kind of fun to work on. It looks like you just saw this, but I'll show it to you again. I've got all the colors in the bag, so if I need to take it somewhere, I can. So they're all there. I think I need to throw in the black if I'm going to take it somewhere, but I think, so it looks like this petal is the one that's finished. So yeah, maybe I'll work on that for my birthday this year, because I started it as a birthday sale, and now I'll work on it for my own birthday. So I won't be able to come back next week to film, so I wanted to make sure to show you what I'm going to be working on the next couple weeks. So I'll give Anne of Green Gables, where's my calendar? I'll give Anne of Green Gables 4 days, and then Blackwork Flower will also get 4 days. And then I will work on Knitting Woman for 2 days, which is back here. I don't have it with me. This is this one, but maybe I'll pop in a picture of what it looked like the last time I showed it to you and worked on it. But that one I'll work on for my mom's birthday. And because now that I'm doing my family projects again. And then the 13th through the 15th is a oldest full coverage whip stitch along in Full Coverage Fanatics on the Facebook group. And I signed up for it, and I wrote down that I would want to participate. I'm not 100% sure what my oldest full coverage WIP is. I will have to look at my whole list and try to remember, because I still don't keep track of my starts. I know this is my oldest Golden Kite, and I believe Quick Stitch Iris is my oldest Heaven and Earth Designs, and I've just restarted it more recently, but this was my first one that I bought from them. I also don't know if, where is that one? I don't know if this one counts as full coverage because the sky is bare. They do say like 95% covered, maybe? So this one might count as my oldest full coverage. It is a oval though. So maybe I'll ask Anne or Kim and see if this would count as full coverage. Because if so, then this is my oldest one, because I've had this since high school. I know that for a fact. In which case, I'll work on this for those 3 days in a couple weekends from now. So, we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. This says 2005, this says 2006. So this one would be my next oldest, I think. So either of these that didn't get touched in Arbitrary August could see time for my oldest WIP sale later in September. So we shall see. And I decided for this one, since I was planning on doing this every weekend, I kind of got burned out on it in August, doing it every weekend, coming back to it, and at some point I was like, I just don't want to. I want to keep doing Arbitrary August. So, but while I was working on it, I was having fun. So my thought is, don't break it up throughout the month. Work on it in one big chunk. So what I decided to do is I'll work on it between my mom's piece and my son's piece, because there's about a week in there, give or take days, depending on what else is going on. So I'll work on this. In September, it looks like I'll have about a week. I don't know where my thing went. But I'll have about a week in September to work on this. A future month might have a few more days. But that's kind of my plan. I'll give it about a week or so and not try to do it here throughout the month, because I think I'll just not want to come back to it, and then it won't end up getting as much time. But if I work on it consistently for several days in a row, I think I'll be more likely to enjoy it and make consistent progress over that time. And maybe even do the 1200 full coverage challenge, which I didn't make in August because I stopped working on it. So that's my plan for that one. So you won't see this one until a little bit later in the month, after the oldest WIP sale. So I should come back and talk to you by then. In the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed Arbitrary August and whatever you've been working on, and I hope you will enjoy the start of fall and I guess spring, where if you're in the southern hemisphere, right? Is that right? Winter should be wrapping up for you guys. And in the meantime, until I see you again, happy stitching. Bye.